Hey guys, I've got the brand new Avengers Tower here in person because LEGO sent it early for me to review, and in today's video, I wanted to take a look at every minifigure and every character that came in the set and actually rank them as I review them. So this is going to be a lot of fun. Stay tuned to see who the top 10 figures in this set are. We got so many characters from across the entire MCU. This is going to be a lot of fun, and I'd love to hear who your guys' top 5 is in the comments. So drop a comment and let me know as we go through the video, and let's get into it. At the bottom of the list, we technically don't even have a minifigure, but the box does count it as a minifigure or character. That, of course, is Dummy the Robot. Now, as far as accuracy goes, I'd say this is pretty accurate to the movie, and it was in Avengers Tower, or at least in Tony's workshop, so I'm going to give it a pass there. This build technically is exclusive to the set, and it's not our first appearance of Dummy, but it's at the bottom of the list, so that tells you everything you need to know about it. Alright, getting into our actual characters, ranked basically at the bottom is the Ant-Man microfig. Now, don't get me wrong, this is accurate to Ant-Man being small in Avengers Tower, but the fact that they gave us the same Ant-Man we've been getting for all of this time, rather than giving us a full-scale minifigure or giving us both, I don't know. Since I already have so many of these, I'm not really won over by it being here, so even though it is accurate to the movie, he was at Avengers Tower, he's not exclusive and it's not his first appearance in any LEGO form, so it is a little bit of a pass for me. Next up is Wong, and unfortunately, although this is a pretty nice figure overall, I don't think it's the best Wong that's ever been made, and the fact that he has literally nothing to do with Avengers Tower definitely makes him a not-so-worthy inclusion in this set. Now, we do have his portal hanging out back here, and that definitely is cool to include to kind of tie the modulars together between the Sanctum from last year and now the Avengers Tower, but considering how many minifigs were left off of this list, like Agent Coulson, Quicksilver, an Ultron variant, I just wish that the space for this figure could have been used by pretty much anybody else, and while it's a nice figure, I don't think it's a great inclusion in the tower. The Chitauri are Catch-22 figures. We actually get 4 of them, but I'm only showing you 2 here for spacing reasons, and they are the same Chitauri we've been getting for quite some time, so that's why they're ranked so low on the list. However, they are kind of a necessary evil to the set. Necessary evil, I didn't even mean that pun, but it does work. And, you know, you gotta have the Chitauri in Avengers Tower, so I would say they are pretty accurate. I would say that they make sense in Avengers Tower. They're not exclusive, though, and this is far from their first appearance in LEGO form, so they're toward the bottom of the list, although they definitely did need to be included. I know you guys may be wondering how a brand new minifigure is so low on the list, but again, we have to look at it in context. Dr. Helen Cho has never been made in LEGO form before, so not only is she exclusive to this set, but it's her first appearance as a minifigure. However, the only thing exclusive here is the torso, and considering we really needed to get characters like Quicksilver, or Maria Hill, or Agent Coulson, they could have made a brand new torso for any of those characters that I just mentioned and reused head, hair, and legs like they did here, so while Helen Cho definitely does make sense because she was in Avengers Tower and Age of Ultron, unfortunately, she's pretty low on my list because compared to other characters we could have gotten, this one just isn't super exciting to me. Okay, up next is Nick Fury, and I do think the Nick Fury minifig is really accurate. It does look a lot like Sam Jackson, and it definitely makes sense because, you know, he has a lot to do with the Avengers, although I don't know that he was ever actually in Avengers Tower. He's far from exclusive. This figure has been coming out for years, and it's definitely not his first appearance because of that, but because he doesn't bring anything super new to the table, he is ranked pretty low on the list today. Pepper Potts up next. A really nice figure, but not accurate to how we see her dressed when she's in Avengers Tower in the first Avengers movie. It definitely looks like Pepper, and it gets the point across, but because it's not super accurate, and it basically just gives us the same Pepper Potts figure that we've been getting for years, it is pretty low on the list today, guys. So it's not her first appearance, she's not exclusive, she was in Avengers Tower, but not in this outfit, and that's why she's got to be toward the bottom here. First Helen Cho and now Alexander Pierce. Yes, this figure that is technically exclusive to this set is pretty low on the list, and the reason being is it reuses a torso from Gringotts Bank and it uses the head from Belloc from Indiana Jones, so technically you could have built this figure a long time ago, and while this combination of pieces are exclusive to this set, the minifigure itself is not exclusive, and so for that reason he is pretty low on the list. Now, am I glad he's included? Oh, you bet I am. It's a really nice figure, but there are over 30 figures in this set, so somebody's got to be in the bottom quarter here, and unfortunately, Alexander Pierce falls here on the list. Eric Selvig is pretty low on the list as well, and for basically the same reasons as Alexander Peters. This is the torso they used on Jerry Seinfeld, and the head is from Luthen from Star Wars because he's played by the same actor in both roles, and it definitely makes sense that he's in Avengers Tower. In fact, if he wasn't here, I would be complaining about it, but again, with over 30 figures, unfortunately, some of them have to be toward the bottom, and that's where Mr. Selvig lands himself. Tony Stark, gotta love it. Classic figure. Of course, he's got that Legoized version of his Black Sabbath t-shirt on, and he's super accurate, no doubt about it. This is the exact outfit he had at Avengers Tower, but he's not exclusive, and it's definitely not his first appearance. In fact, I think this exact figure's come in at least 2 other sets, so I'm definitely glad he's included, but there are better figures on the list, so that's why he's here. All right, now we're actually getting into our superheroes in their super costumes. So this is War Machine, a really nice figure, although I do not like these new Iron Man helmets compared to the old ones. Just like the chin or mouth area seems a little bit derpy to me, so I do like this a lot, don't get me wrong, but it's far from my favorite. If we lift the helmet up, you can see Rhodey's head is underneath, and we do have some great printing on the torso, legs, and even the back of the figure with the gun. It's a nice figure, but there are better on the list. I'm sure you could have guessed I was going to say that by now, though. Okay, now we're getting into our pretty great figures. This is Black Widow, and of course, she's got those brand new printed arms, which debuted earlier in 2023, and she has these new legs, which come on 3 different figures in this set, and I've never really thought that this head looks very much like Scarlett Johansson. I think that the Age of Ultron head we got for Black Widow was the best, but this figure is definitely accurate. She was at Avengers Tower in this outfit, and she's technically exclusive because of the legs, but it's not her first appearance as a LEGO minifig, so that's why she's kind of middle of the road on the list here. Interestingly, I've got a lot of things to say about Thor that I just said with Black Widow. It's not the first time we've gotten this Thor, although he does have a new piece with that hairpiece. It's not exclusive to this set or figure, though. It has come in some other places. This is a great figure, though. He does have the spongy cape with one hole, which kind of lets the cape, raise up a little bit over his back. And the torso printing is super awesome, definitely reminiscent of Avengers 2012. So he's right here, kind of in the middle of the list. Definitely a nice figure, but leg printing would have been nice, maybe some printing on the arms to show his gauntlets, and of course, can't talk about Thor without talking about the nice little J piece here that allows him to be throwing Mjolnir with the lightning. That is definitely a cool upgrade. Alright, Scarlet Witch is tough because she's objectively a really nice figure and I like it a lot, but this is not the outfit she wore when she was in Avengers Tower. In fact, she was only there briefly in Age of Ultron, but I do think it would have made a lot of sense to get the Age of Ultron outfit here, and just to give us something new. In fact, I think that the hair probably would have needed to be dark brown, and the head could be the same, the legs could be the same, and the torso would need to be different, but when we compare it to something like Helen Cho, they could have made a new torso, like they did for Helen Cho, and just given her alternative hair, and then you'd have a brand new Scarlet Witch figure that's exclusive to the set that adds to the value for $500, and it would be more accurate to the movie. So while I like this figure a lot, that's kind of why she's at the middle of the road here. Good figure, but not accurate to what it should be for the context of the set. All right, here we've got Captains America. I think that's the plural of Captain America, but yeah, these are great. Of course, this figure debuted in the Quinjet in early 2023. Then we got the unmasked version just a couple weeks ago in the Advent calendar for Marvel for 2023. And these figures are great. You got the 2012 Captain America torso and outfit. One has the helmet, the other has the unmasked head, and of course the other shield is a part of the set. But overall, these are nice. I don't think that the head looks very much like Chris Evans. For that matter, I don't really think the hair does either, but it is cool that they gave us 2, and I suppose he does earn a little bit of brownie points because it's a great figure twice, so there you go. Okay, this is Iron Man Mark 7, and it's a really nice figure. Of course, I don't like the helmets, like I talked about with War Machine. They just look a little derpy around the mouth to me. But I do want to note that this is the final figure in this list that is a repeat figure. So after this figure, every figure on the list is something brand new for this set. Now back to this figure, it is nice with the toe printing, the leg printing, hip printing. Of course, you can lift the mask up and see Tony's face underneath. It is a nice figure, and I do think it's one of the better figures of the Avengers, especially on the ranked list so far, but the best is yet to come, so let's get into those exclusive figures up next. Okay, so a lot of people were excited that we got Hawkeye in this set, and I'm certainly one of them, but once I saw the figure in person, it did leave a little bit to be desired. Now, of course, we've got those legs that were used on Falcon and Black Widow in this same set, and the torso is brand new, but the head is just a generic head that's been used in Star Wars for years, and the hair is the same as the CMF Hawkeye, and speaking of which, I think that the CMF Hawkeye head looks a lot more like Jeremy Renner than the head that came in the actual Avengers Tower, so considering this piece is currently in production, it is a little baffling to me why they wouldn't just use that head. Regardless, he does use the new bow piece, and if we lift the head up, there is only one side to it, you can see he does have some great printing on the back as well. So it's a really nice figure. It's just the head on it is something that we've already seen elsewhere, and because of that, I can't quite rank him as high as I was hoping to, and it's still a nice figure, but not quite top 10 worthy. The S.H.I.E.L.D. agents are going to share a spot because I don't think that one is particularly better than the other, but they look awesome. You've got the S.H.I.E.L.D. wording printed on the back of their vests, and you've got the S.H.I.E.L.D. logo up in the corner there, and both figures really do look great. I love that these are included, and honestly, now that these pieces exist, I'd love to see some more Marvel sets, maybe in 2024, with S.H.I.E.L.D. agents in them, just so that we could kind of army build, because these would definitely be hard to army build considering they come in a $500 set, but I do love the look of them, and they are great, even if they are a little generic. Alright, we are now in the top 10, folks, and this is Tony Stark in his S.H.I.E.L.D. outfit, and basically he's the same as the last two figures we looked at, but he's slightly more awesome because he's Tony Stark. I do love that they gave him this suitcase here, which of course is supposed to be Nick Fury's suitcase that holds the Tesseract, and I love that when you push the goggles down, it really does kind of hide the fact that it's Tony Stark under there, and it really takes me back to those awesome scenes from Avengers Endgame. At number 9, we have a figure that isn't quite a figure, but the set designers said that they regret not calling him a figure, so we'll go ahead and count Arnim Zola. This, of course, is recreating his look from the Winter Soldier, where, of course, he's in the computer screen, and we've got Zola's algorithm going on and everything like that. It's only built using a handful of pieces, and, of course, all the detail comes from the stickers, but I do still think this is cool, and technically, this is one of our first LEGO references ever to the Winter Soldier movie, so I'm definitely excited to add this into the mix now. At number 8, we have Loki. Now, this would honestly be my number 1 figure in the set if we hadn't already got him in the Avengers Quinjet earlier in 2023. Because he's not exclusive to this set, I can't rank him higher than some figures that are exclusive, so I do love this figure, though. You've got the leg printing, hip printing, torso printing. We looked at the back of the torso printing there, and you can lift his helmet up, which is a new, like, metallic pearl gold look, and you can flip his head around, and he comes with a hairpiece so that you could have the muzzle from the end of the movie, and he's got the scratches on his head and everything. I am a little bit bummed that we still haven't got the official Loki scepter piece, like, that looks like the movie, but overall, this is pretty nice, and like I said, honestly, if this figure had debuted in this set, it would be my number 1 figure, because I love it, and I think it's one of my favorite Marvel figures this year, to be honest. Coming in at number 7 is the Ultron Mark 1 armor, and realistically, I think it would be nice to compare this to the original that we got back in 2015. A lot of people have wanted to see these side by side, so let's go ahead and knock that out now. Both figures bring a lot to the table. The most notable thing about the original figure, of course, is that translucent head that had printing on the front and back. I do think I like the translucent head more than the new one. I like the creepy smile that had, but overall, the new one does pack in a lot more shading and a lot more detail, so at the end of the day, it is hard for me to say which one I like better, because I've been looking at this one since 2015, and I've been looking at this one for a handful of days, so it's really not fair to say which one is better, because I just haven't had enough time to live with both of them, but it is neat to see them side by side, and I do think 7th place is a good fit for this Ultron. In 6th place, we have Kevin Feige, and honestly, I did have him higher on the list, but I really spent a lot of time going over the pros and cons of this, and I just have to put him at 6th, because there's so many great figures here. Of course, he does debut the new Avengers ball cap. This ball cap will also come in the gift with purchase if you buy Avengers Tower the weekend it comes out, but the torso and head are both new for Kevin, and he does have the little coffee mug here and a little shawarma piece that he can hold, and I love this overall. It is very awesome to get Kevin. I do wish it was Stan Lee, and if it was Stan Lee, I think that would be my number 1 in the set, and this one is hard to rank, because accuracy, yeah, it's 5 out of 5, but he doesn't exist in the MCU, so he was never at Avengers Tower. He is exclusive, and it is his first appearance, so those all rack up a lot of points that help him be so high on this list. At number 5, we have the battle-damaged Mark 6 Iron Man. Now, I absolutely love this figure. I love all the, like, scratches put on there with the printing, and then just seeing the wear and tear on the front of the suit and the front of the helmet are so, so awesome. Now, of course, we can lift this up, and you can see that there is a translucent blue head underneath, because this one is kind of like in display mode, if you will, but I just love getting battle-damaged figures, and technically, this is our first battle-damaged Marvel figure outside of Nebula from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, so I do love this a lot. I think it looks great, and I hope it's the first of many to come for more future battle-damaged Avengers figures. At number 4, we have Falcon. I love the Falcon figure. Now, he does reuse those legs from Black Widow and Hawkeye, and the hairpiece is the Falcon hairpiece we've been getting for a while now, but the head, torso, and wing build are all completely new for this figure. It is a little interesting that they went with this wing build rather than the wing piece from the Marvel CMF series, from that Falcon Captain America, but regardless, I do like that they put a little red wing on the back, and the figure looks great. Now, I do want to lift the head up so that we can see what the printing looks like on the back of the figure. So there we go. And yeah, there you've got his pack kind of retracted in. And overall, I do like this a lot. I love that the head has the goggles on it and the printing goes around to the back of the head. And overall, I think this is a great figure and he comes in 4th place. In 3rd place, we have Wasp. Now, this one's a little bit tricky, because Wasp really doesn't have anything to do with Avengers Tower in the MCU, but the set designer said they included her because Ant-Man and Wasp were on the original Avengers lineup in 1963. I do think that that's pretty cool, and it's so nice to finally get a good Wasp helmet. The previous Wasp helmet was pretty bad, but getting the yellow eyes on this is awesome, and using the Ant-Man style helmet is great too. If we lift that up, you can see that she does use the same head as Pepper Potts, and we do get a hairpiece. I don't think that this head looks very much like Evangeline Lilly, to be completely real with you, but the foil wings on the back are really nice, and if we lift the head and hair up, we can slide that off and see that there's printing on the back that looks great as well. So we'll put the Wasp helmet back on there and give it one final spin, but yeah, this is a great figure. I wish it had arm and leg printing, but truth be told, I don't think there's a single figure in this collection other than Black Widow that got arm printing, and very few got leg printing, so it kind of is what it is. But overall, it's definitely a nice improvement and definitely a good contender for number 3. At number 2, we have Vision, and this figure could have very well been in the number 1 spot too, but there are 2 things on this figure that hold it back from the number 1 spot. Can you guess what it is? Alright, if you haven't guessed yet, it's the legs and the cape. Now, don't get me wrong, I love that the cape and legs are phasing. I think that that is so cool, but it is a little bit bothersome to me that he always has to be phasing. It would have been so cool if he came with like an extra set of legs that you could swap out and an extra cape that you could swap out so that he could be in full form and not always like mid-phasing like this. That being said, if we move the cape around, you could see that there's amazing printing on the back of the figure and the back of the head, and it really is a great figure. I just wish that in a $500 set, we could get an alternate cape and an alternate leg option, just so that you'd have more opportunities for play and display. And finally, believe it or not, my favorite figure in the set is the Big Fig Hulk. Now, we've gotten lots of Big Fig Hulks in the past, but what makes this one special is the fact that the head can turn from side to side. I think that is so cool, and as somebody that's been collecting LEGO Marvel since 2012, when the very first sets came out, I got them all on release day. It's pretty neat to see how far the Hulk has come all these years later with being able to twist his head, and the hair's removable too, so I really, really love that. The ripped up jeans look good. He doesn't have toe printing or even toe notching, because there have been Hulk figures in the past where they put like slots in his feet to show his toes, but if you think about it, LEGO minifigs don't really have toes anyways, so it doesn't really bother me all that much. But yeah, it is kind of shocking to me that this is my number 1 favorite. I expect some people in the comments to disagree, but come on, who doesn't love the Hulk? And this one looks great. So with that being said, let's finish out this video and call it a day. Alright guys, well that is the ranked video. I'm kind of shocked, like I said, that Hulk came in up top, but there are so many great figures in this set, and it is super, super exciting. So let me know which figures you like best in this set. Be sure to hit like and subscribe. Check out my other Avengers Tower videos on the channel now, and I'll see you guys on the next video.